Hello and welcome to this speed build where we are building another house for our neighbourhood Let's Play, which I'm going to be starting soon. So if you haven't seen the other two videos, I've already got two speed builds up on the channel, which I will link in the description. And the idea for this neighbourhood Let's Play, as I'm calling it, is going to be that we're going to have 4 families that we play on rotation. So I know some people do a kind of rotational gameplay style when they play The Sims, and this is often what I do as well. So I thought it'd be fun to try and do a Let's Play in that style. So the idea is that each week, or however often the episodes will come out, I'm not quite sure yet, we will alternate which family we are playing, and there'll be 4 families in total. And I'm building in this kind of bargain band neighbourhood of Willow Creek, and obviously there are 5 lots here, so the 5th lot is going to be a community lot, which is just going to be like a place where they can hang out at. If I put them into any clubs or anything, then it'll probably be the venue for where those clubs hang out, and yeah, just like a place for the families to come together really. So yeah, this is the 3rd house that we are building, and this house is for the Mullins family. And you can see right now I am working on building this kind of roof or attic space, I suppose, that's very long and narrow. And this was kind of the whole idea I had for this house. All of these plots are pretty small, so you can't fit loads on. There's kind of a small family living here, but they have a teenage daughter, and I really liked the idea that we could have this long narrow attic, which would literally only be 2 tiles wide, and so her bedroom is only 2 tiles wide, and the whole space is just pretty cramped. But it's the sort of thing where as an actual teenager you might have found it I don't know, kind of fun to live in a space like that, I guess. And yeah, then the rest of the attic is just a little sort of landing and study area. And then the other 2 people in the family are a single dad, and I haven't really come up with a backstory for why the other parent is not there. I'm open to ideas, but I kind of have a feeling that I maybe want maybe there was a second parent, but they are now absent in this family's lives for whatever reason, but they still kind of exist out in the world. I don't know, maybe I could create the sim and they could come visit every now and then or something, although I haven't done that yet. But yeah, so there's a single dad, and he has an older teenage daughter, and then he also has a younger toddler daughter, which is cute, and they also have a little cat called Noodle. And yeah, the dad and the toddler both live downstairs. The toddler also has a tiny room. I really wanted to give the impression, I guess, that this family definitely not super well off, living in a house that's a bit too small for them. Even the shared living space is a little bit cramped, trying to fit in the kitchen, living, dining all into one space, and they have kind of just a small garden. Although it is, I mean, to be fair, I've definitely decorated it quite nicely. The furniture doesn't look cheap or anything, so for whatever reason they just want to have this nice cozy home, I suppose. And yeah, it's got kind of a distinctive look, as you've probably seen from the thumbnail. To me it almost looks like a chapel or something, which wasn't necessarily what I had in mind when I was building it, but I guess I quite like the backstory that maybe this was a little chapel that used to sit at the end of this road, the end of this little hamlet, and now it's been converted into a house. So yeah, I thought that could be quite a fun backstory. And yeah, just to give you a bit of background on the family who live here and the people who are, each of the family members, I'll put up a little screenshot of them on screen as I'm talking about each of them. But first of all, we have the little toddler Daisy. There's not too much to say about her really. I tried to make her a bit of a tomboy, I suppose. I quite like the idea that she's quite rambunctious. I gave her the independent trait as well, and yeah, she's just the cute little toddler of the family. She's obviously growing up in a single parent household. I feel she'll be pretty good at fending for herself. And then, so yeah, the toddler is called Daisy, and then the dad of the family is called Gary Mullins. I don't know if it sounds to me like some kind of Scottish or Irish name, I'm not really sure. But yeah, and the kind of backstory for him is that I feel when he was younger he was just the kind of jolly joker kind of guy, and I've tried to make him definitely look kind of friendly and the traits I gave him, I believe, were kind of goofball, childish, and foodie, maybe, if I remember correctly. So yeah, the foodie thing, it's just like he's definitely into having a good time and not taking life too seriously. His aspiration is to do with being social, and he's gregarious, and I don't know, in my head he's just like this very fun single dad, and maybe like especially before the other parent left, he was like more of the fun parent, and now he's having to grapple with like having to be the sort of disciplinarian parent and sensible parent as well as just being the fun parent. But yeah, definitely someone who doesn't take life too seriously. And then we also have Ivy Mullins, who is the teenager of the family, and I made her an animal lover and also a bro, which feels like, I don't know if those two traits are incoherent. I guess not. Anyway, I thought it was fun. But yeah, her aspiration is also to do with taking care of animals, I think. And I did give this family a cat, like I said, and so yeah, I kind of imagine that like maybe this teenager, maybe Ivy, like dreams of becoming a vet when she's older, or just like owning a lot of animals, but right now they live in this kind of small house. It's not really like possible for her to own a bunch of animals at this point in her life, like especially as a teenager, but that is really her passion and what she would love to do. And then she's also kind of a bro. Again, it's I guess a bit like her little sister Daisy as well. Like I feel like these girls are just like very, I don't know, they've got their heads screwed on right, like they're pretty confident, and yeah, definitely kind of not ones to be sort of like, they won't take like teasing or bullying lightly or anything like that. And yeah, I kind of tried to dress her like that. To be honest, I don't love Creator Sim, so I quite like coming up with their personalities, but I tend to, when I'm in Creator Sim, just like randomize Sims like appearances until I find something that I sort of vaguely like what it looks like, and that is pretty much what I did with this family, and also all the other families that are part of this Let's Play. So sometimes their outfits are a little off point, I guess, is what I'm saying, but I almost like to decide the personality maybe a bit based on what they end up looking like, and so it's all slightly randomized. But yeah, I would love to get better at Creator Sim, but I don't know, it's just never been my jam. Also now, especially in the Sims 4, Creator Sim is like so big and powerful, there's so much to it, which must be great if you love Creator Sim, because there's just like so much you can do with it. But for me, I feel like I just get a bit overwhelmed by all the possibilities almost. But anyway, yeah, that's Ivy. And then yeah, the last member of the family is little Noodle the cat, who I think is also independent. So again, it's just like all these independent people in this house. And then she's also a glutton and she's lazy. I think I just liked the idea that this was just like, I don't know, cat that's like not the best trained. She's very well loved by the teenager. Really, in my head, she's like, the cat belongs to Ivy, the teenager, I suppose. And she's the one who's in charge of looking after her, and they're just kind of best buds, and the cat just likes to like hang out next to her on the sofa and stuff. But yeah, those are kind of their personalities. And then I thought Gary would also have a job, I think, and I think the teenager Ivy, I will also try and get her to have a job. Again, it's like, I don't imagine this family having a bunch of money, so I thought it would be quite fun to do that with them. So yeah, I thought Ivy could work as a barista. Again, the fact that she's kind of a bro and she like dresses quite cool, in my head that those things make you a barista, I suppose. So I thought that could be her like part-time job that she's doing around school. And I might have her join some kind of clubs. There's one other teenager in the neighborhood who we've already seen, who is Mateo, who is part of the Aguilera family, and his part-time job is babysitting. So I'm like, maybe they're friends and they hang out, and yeah, could put them in a club together or something. And then Gary, the dad, I thought could be a nurse. I quite like the idea that he does something like his personality feels like would make him a very good nurse, I suppose. Just like being super friendly, like puts everyone at ease, is very sociable, very like hands-on kind of guy, I suppose. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna make him. Although I'm saying this, I'm like, can you even make people nurses in The Sims 4? I'll have to check that. I feel like I assume you can, but anyway, yeah, I'll have to double check that. Maybe we'll change what his job is if being a nurse isn't possible. But yeah, I've kind of finished the whole outside of the house and already moved on to working on the inside of the house now. And yeah, for the decor, I wanted to just like make it pretty colourful and fun. Like I said, I feel like all the people that live in this house are pretty like outgoing and charismatic, and I enjoyed the idea that their house would kind of like match their personalities in this way, I suppose. They also have this like very green lush garden, so I guess one of them must be vaguely good at gardening, although I haven't written that into the backstory on purpose necessarily. But yeah, inside the house and also like this kind of deck area, I suppose, just wanted loads of like really bright colours. And for the main living area and also some of the bedrooms, I was kind of going for an orange and blue theme for the most part. I just love those two colours together there. I can't remember what you call it. Is it complementary colours or something like that? But I think it's like on the colour wheel they sit opposite each other, and so they just kind of offset each other. Very nice. And so yeah, you'll probably notice when I do builds, especially when I'm trying to build a house to make it look nice, I love using the kind of orange and blue contrasting colour scheme. And then I also threw a little bit of pink in here as well, because I also feel like pink also kind of goes well with that orange and blue. So yeah, those were kind of the three main colours that I was using to decorate the house. I think I find it quite useful to pick a colour scheme when decorating in The Sims. It just sort of like, again, there's so many options, which is great. Like, I mean, I don't even have all of the Sims packs, but I already feel like there's so many different options for furniture that I'm using and different like colour swatches to use that, I don't know, almost like setting yourself some rules or guidelines or boundaries or something makes it a bit easier, I suppose, to decorate. And so yeah, going with the orange, blue and pink theme, yeah, I thought that would be pretty nice and yeah, pretty helpful. So yeah, we're definitely well into the furnishing of this house now. We've mostly finished the common area, I believe, and kind of just doing the bedrooms. I did struggle with the dad's bedroom a bit because I haven't really like decided on a hobby of his. Like obviously, yeah, his career is going to be nurse potentially, but I don't know, I didn't really like, normally I feel like in people's bedrooms I'll put some kind of like skill building item or something, but I hadn't really thought of one for the dad yet, so I don't know, I'm willing to just see. Maybe I quite like to like maybe just decide things during gameplay as well, like if that sim in particular gets drawn to a particular hobby. I mean, I guess maybe gardening could be his hobby, so it doesn't really like need a skill building item in the bedroom, which I'd be fine with. So yeah, and then upstairs we're working on this little kind of study nook at one end of the building. I feel like it's just very useful for all Sims houses to have a computer, because there's so many aspects of the game that you have to access via the computer. So I always try to find some kind of like study nook or study space, but then I also don't feel like it's super realistic that like every house would have like a whole room to be a study. Like, yes, some people do have that and that's nice, but especially in like a smaller house like this where the teenager's room that I'm decorating now is like super tiny, it just doesn't really make sense that they would also have a room dedicated to being a study. So kind of just like plonk the desk in the corridor essentially. And then yeah, moving back downstairs, the toddler's room is also super tiny and minuscule. I think it's literally like a 2x3. It's like the same size as the bathroom, I guess, but I kept that like blue and orange colour theme. And I'm worried I've given the toddler a crib rather than the toddler bed, and actually she won't be able to use that, so I might have to go in and change that when we move on to the gameplay. And yeah, I also wanted to give them the laundry in the bathroom. I love to give all of my Sims families laundry. It's just an extra challenge, something else to do with them. But yeah, that's the kind of basics for this family's house and for their kind of personalities and stuff. I really hope you enjoyed watching this speed build and that you'll watch along for the neighbourhood Let's Play itself as well. Hopefully, yeah, we'll have another speed build coming out soon with the next family. Thanks for watching.